Hi, it's Rod from Steeda Autosports, coming to you from our Pompano Beach installation facility where we do custom dyno tuning on our DynoJet dynos. Usually we do typical Mustangs, Fusions, Focuses, street and race cars, F-150s, Explorers. And sometimes we do a little bit more unusual of an animal, like this Bronco behind me. A few weeks ago we were contacted by Miller Mantovanelli at Mantovanelli Studios, who does high-end builds for a very specific clientele. This vehicle behind me may look like a 66 Bronco, but in all actuality it's all brand new. The frame, the body, everything, and is powered by a Gen 2 Coyote, which he wanted Steeda to dyno tune for him, which presents some very specific challenges for us to overcome.
Basically everything on the truck is brand new, 2020. Decided to bring as much as we could of the original truck along with the new technology. The key features on the truck are all original. The body, the interior, the dash, and gauge sets and whatnot, but everything else that you see, drivability, motor, transmission, all brand new Ford products. We got rid of the leaf springs, made the truck more drivable, more user-friendly, air conditioning, insulation, all the good features that you see in a modern car. Or just in a retro look of the 75 Bronco, which the customer is very keen on that look itself. Steeda Mantovanelli, we do one-off vehicles where we deal with certain customers. We do 2 to 3 cars a year, and we build cars totally catered to the customer. We don't do production vehicles, we don't do anything. We can do from a Volkswagen to a Ferrari. There's no discrepancy. Recently, we're doing a 356C Porsche, 1965. That car is getting slight customization. It's basically a large refresh. We got a 911 internals in the motor, billet cranks, everything, fuel injected car, but it's gonna retain the original look of the vehicle. Again, this is what the customer likes. He likes the key features of the original vehicle with slight modifications that you really have to put one car next to the other to see what's the modifications. We got another one we just did, 1989 Mercedes 560 SL. Everybody's like, oh wow, an 80s Mercedes. And I'm a Mercedes guy, so that car was a major refresh as well. Aside from that, from Ferraris, we've done a 430 we're working on now, Aston Martins. We've done a lot of work back in the days with European vehicles. Now we're focusing more on the American side because our customer has really depth connections with Ford, and we just like to, I've been working a lot in the Ford brand for the past 2 years because of that, and it's really growing on us in the shop, and we're enjoying that. We're enjoying that partnership. The chassis is a licensed chassis from Kinser Chassis. The body is a Dennis Carpenter. It's a licensed Ford product. All the parts we're using are licensed Ford products. And I think the only part that is not new in this truck is the wiper motor mount. Everything else is oh, I'm sorry, in the glove box. Everything else is brand new 2020. Again, the beginning of this build, we had 2 options. We had the EcoBoost or the 5.0. We decided to go with the 5.0. It's just an iconic motor. You say 5.0, it's Ford. And when we started building the chassis, it just automatically migrated into the Coyote 5.0. So I think it's a great modern classic for Ford. That motor is going to be. So the 5.0 is made it to a 6R80 transmission, and it was brand new unit as well. And then after that, we made it to a custom built Atlas transfer case for the 4-wheel drive. Everything built to spec, and again, just everything just flowed naturally with the transmission transfer case. It was just tried and true from the people from Kinser Chassis, and we decided to go with that route, having that background and test already done to that system. The motor is basically out of the crate, and we're getting it tuned now for reliability, and we want to make sure everything is right. Steeda, for me, has always been a name that brought me back to my childhood. We remember with the Fox bodies, and I remember how all these years of history of having performance vehicles and racing, and I've worked in the FARA field for the GT4 and GT3 racing, and I've always seen the Steeda vehicles, and it's just the heritage of the brand, the Ford brand with Steeda. It was a natural selection just to come here, and then the professionalism from you guys, how Rod took care of us, and it was just a no-brainer.
Some of the challenges we had to overcome with this were first, making sure that we could tune it using SCT tuners and SCT software. Luckily, the strategy code that is used in the ECU was supported by SCT, So that means we could dyno tune it with our Steeda custom dyno tune. The first thing we had to overcome was the special air intake on this, which is a trapezoidal design. We actually had to move the mass air meter back further to try and get a cleaner signal on it. And then we also had to add an inlet fitting for the PCV system into the air intake because that was missing altogether. The other thing we had to overcome was this vehicle has air conditioning, but the ECU that Ford supplied was never designed to have air conditioning on it. So that means when you started up the AC, the idle would drop down. So we had to figure out a way to overcome that problem in the software, which we were able to do. The end result is a Bronco that's going to have great power and great drivability for the final customer.